where the 3-day 20th African Growth and Opportunity Forum is drawing to a close in Nasrec, Johannesburg this afternoon. The highly anticipated gathering has over 500 small businesses showcasing their products at the Made in Africa exhibition. Xolani Mbanjwa is a business editor who gives us a glimpse of some of the businesses being supported by the government. Xolani, who are you with there at the forum this afternoon?
Good afternoon, Clement. Yes, indeed, hundreds of businesses that are being supported by the South African government are here this afternoon. They've been here since Thursday to showcase the work that they do, holding hopes that they will find the entry into those difficult markets, in particular the United States. There's a lot of hope also riding on the negotiations happening on the sidelines of this particular Made in Exhibition forum here, that the 10-year extension is going to be agreed upon. But to answer your question, I am joined by the Minister of Small Business Development, Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams, to tell us exactly the kind of support that the government is giving the small businesses in the country. Minister, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Let's talk about the hundreds of businesses that you've brought to this Made in Africa exhibition. What do you hope to achieve by bringing these small businesses who are bringing with them a lot of hope and ambition as far as where they want to go? What do you hope to achieve with them after this AGOA Forum?
Well, the first thing is that, Xolani, we are bringing small businesses here to exhibit, which means they get an opportunity to network first. They meet investors, they meet people who are interested in buying the products. But most importantly, is for them to reach, that is important, the contract that must be signed at the end of the day. We are in business, and therefore whatever work that we're doing, we want it to end on the dotted line. As we do that, they also need lots of support in terms of financing. They need to make sure that they reach beyond South Africa, Africa, and go to the world. And this is what the AGOA presents for them. And most of them, they were excited. Minister, we just got an investor now. They're going to be coming back. Minister, we clinched a deal yesterday with some local companies. As we were speaking here, look at Totleho. Was here. Company from Limpopo, manufacturing shoes, handmade shoes. Leather shoes and jean shoes. Most of the people complain that South Africa, you eat lots of beef. What happens to your skin or your hide? And now Totleho found a solution to that, to say, I'm not going to be one of those that are just throwing things away. I'm going to make things out of my own hands and utilize the resources that are at our disposal. And indeed, as the department, we stepped in to assist Totleho to really realize his dream. And he's here to tell your story. He's been to Australia, marketing his products, he's visiting other countries, but most importantly, we want to really appeal to South Africans and Africans to start believing in locally produced brands. Yes, it's nice to have the other brands, but let's also make sure that we support these ones. That's the best way to support businesses that can create jobs here at home.
Let's talk about the contracts that are being signed here. When it comes to the contracts, and I've spoken to a number of the businesses around here, you're absolutely right. There is a lot of excitement from the businesses. A small contract, it means a lot to them because these businesses don't even have marketing budgets. They are on a shoestring budget. Let's talk about the kind of contracts that you are hoping that they get here to take them to the next level.
Well, the kinds of contract that we are looking at is the ones that wherein we get people who say, we want your product in our country. We're opening our stores for you. And that is what we're looking at. But secondly, is the one that says we can help you set a plant in our own country. Because they can be couriering stuff, sending there, but if they don't have plants, there's lots of logistical nightmare challenges and also cost implications. But if they get those contracts that say, we can help you set up your own plant in our own country, and then when that happens, you know that they can get a bigger chunk of the market of a particular country. Lastly, we want to ensure that it's not only about South Africa, it's not only about Africa, but the entire continent gets to be integrated in the global market, more specifically the American market too.
Let me ask you my last question. A company like Tlotleho Handcrafts is one of the lucky ones where they are looking to export a finished product, which is something that we are not accustomed to because we export raw material. We export raw leather overseas and it comes back as Italian shoes, but it's our leather. What is stopping us from beneficiating? We keep on exporting raw materials, not beneficiating, and you'll know this very well, that if you beneficiate, you are creating lots of jobs. It's what other African leaders have spoken about ahead of this AGOA Forum. What's stopping us from making sure that we are exporting finished products?
Well, let me start by saying we once did that, if you recall. But of course, when different leaders come on board, the economic status, things changes, and therefore certain decisions are then abandoned to say, let's focus on particular areas. But now I'm sure you have seen our economic recovery and reconstruction plan, which focuses on manufacturing and industrialization. This is because we want to give effect to exactly what you're talking about. Our country is one of the countries that has high unemployment rates, and we are saying we're great in minerals, we're great in food production, but it can't be that we just, as you said, import everything raw as it is. This is why you see even the DTIC is beginning to provide incentives for those that want to establish plants here, for those that want to manufacture, and ourselves as the department responsible for small business development through CIFA, we're also doing the same for those that are small but want to manufacture. We're realizing that there's a need for us to look into the entire value chain of the products that we have. Because if we look at a particular component, we're missing out on the other things. You correctly put it to say, we send things raw. When they come back, the price is tripled, and we can't even afford them at times. And now we're saying we have learned, and this is why we're reclaiming back our economy by putting at the right hands, get others to produce what they can produce, get others to process what can be processed, and of course others will sit to buy as consumers. And that's the value chain that we are looking at. So we are improving, we're trying to address that, which is what also informed us to say there's a need for us to participate in the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, because we do recognize the greatness that Africa has. Lots of mineral resources, lots of other resources outside minerals that we have as the continent. Now, if we join hands together and be able to trade with each other, it tells you that we can be great again as the continent, because even most of the advanced continents, they are advanced because of what we have. Now we are saying we are a new generation. We've learned from what has happened in the past. We're grateful to those that came and paved the way for us, but it is up to us to take this to the next level in terms of delivering the economic freedom in the true sense, and we will never deliver that if we are not beneficiating. That's why all our plans talk to beneficiation.
I could not have put it better myself. Minister, thank you very much for your time. As you see, Minister has been visiting all the stands that her department supports, and this is Tlotleho Handcrafts out of Limpopo. And just to put things into perspective, last year, South Africa, the trade between South Africa and the United States was valued at $25.5 billion, and that is 510 billion rands that was traded between the two countries, and most of those goods that were traded were part of AGOA, which meant they were exported into the United States duty-free, which means Americans are getting our products at much cheaper prices, which means they are ordering more products from South Africa, supporting South African businesses. Back to you, Clement, in studio.